Hello everybody, welcome to my autumn favourites video. I want to share with you some stuff that I like, maybe you will like, maybe you already like, and we can just have a jolly good time. First up in books, I have singular, a book that I haven't finished yet, but it's definitely a favourite because it's like getting me thinking. It's not necessarily one that I'm like, oh my god, I love it so much, but it's just like, I think it's going to be one of those ones that just for a long time, you know? And it is This Is How It Always Is by Laurie Frankel. I am less than 100 pages to the end, and I've mentioned this book before, but just to briefly summarise, it's about a family who have 5 kids, 4 sons, and their youngest is a trans girl, Poppy, her name is, and it's like over many years. So it kind of starts taking place before Poppy is born, and where I'm currently at, Poppy is now 10 years old, and I don't know how much further it's going to go. But it's told from the perspective of the parents, which is really interesting because one of the things that I've found myself doing with this book is almost thinking of it in my head as if this is a memoir and this is like a non-fiction story, and so it's like lessons learned of like what to do or what not to do if you have a trans kid. But obviously this is fiction, so it isn't like prescriptive in that way at all. But as a sex educator and also as someone who's pregnant and going to be a parent soon, like this is stuff that I'm interested in, because there's also just like lots of interesting stuff about parenting in general in this book as well. But there's one particular point that's just like really been frustrating me, which is the parents have been arguing about whether or not to put Poppy on puberty blockers because she's 10 and like that's gonna happen soon, and they're arguing about it amongst each other. And like, fair enough, yes, parents will have conversations amongst themselves about their children, but neither one of them suggests asking Poppy or talking to Poppy and explaining what puberty blockers are to Poppy. I don't know, I just find it really frustrating, but also maybe you're supposed to because it's like a fiction story, I don't know. And then there's this really horrible kind of pivotal moment in the book where Poppy is outed because they move to a new school, and so Poppy is like passing as a girl entirely, and then she gets outed and then kind of like reverts back, shaves her hair, starts going by her previous name, is confused as to whether she gets to be a girl or a boy or whatever, and then suddenly the narrative starts using he him pronouns again, and it's making me feel really uncomfortable because in my head, narratively, I'm like, Poppy's a girl, like why are you misgendering Poppy? But maybe that's the point. Maybe you're supposed to feel uncomfortable reading it because it's supposed to be uncomfortable if someone is misgendered. Like, that's not a good thing. Anyway, I'm intrigued to see where this goes, and you know, if they talk to Poppy about her options. I'm gonna look like a fool now if it turns out that Poppy doesn't end up being Poppy at the end of the book, even though I'm like narratively I'm adamant that that is the case. And then the other interesting thing is there is no conversation at all about maybe she's non-binary. That's not there. It's like this choice between boy or girl. It's just interesting. There's just lots of stuff going on in here. When was this written? It was published in 2017. What does that tell us? Not sure. But yes, I really love all of the characters in this, and it's a story that I've never really seen told before in fiction, and I want more. So next up I have some TV favourites. The first is Arcane, which is on Netflix, and it is the League of Legends animated TV series. I don't know. League of Legends is a video game. My partner Dan is really into it, but as well as playing it sometimes, he's mostly into the like competitive esport side of it. And having been in a relationship with him for 5 odd years, I've also gotten into it. Big fan of League, but I don't know as much about like the whole world and all of the characters and like the lore of this like fantasy world. But they've made this show called Arcane, which kind of like takes place in one of the worlds and follows like some of the characters, and it is so good. It's absolutely stunning animation, but it's also just a really great story, really well told. You don't have to know anything about League of Legends to enjoy it, but I'm sure if you do know lots of stuff about League of Legends, then there's lots of extra little things that you can pick up on, which Dan is doing, and I'm like, what does that mean? What's that? I don't know. But I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and at the center of the story is the relationship between these two sisters, and I just want Powder to be okay, you know? By the time you're seeing this, I think the series will be over, but for me there's 3 episodes left, I think. So I don't know how it ends. And I'll be curious to see what they do going forwards, like how this series ends, and if they're going to do more, are they going to kind of like take different characters from League of Legends and do like each set of characters kind of like get their own limited series basically, which I think would be really cool. The other TV favourite, which I watched a while ago, and I'm like, did I mention this in another video before? Not entirely sure, but I want to talk about it again, is Shadow and Bone. Like, it just stuck with me. Like, I really loved this series, and I haven't read any of the books, haven't read Shadow and Bone, haven't read Six of Crows, although it did really make me want to read Six of Crows. But now that I'm like in the TV universe, I want to watch that before reading the books, which is not the way around that most people strive to do things. But this is what I'm worried about, because Shadow and Bone, the books, takes place before Six of Crows, the books, but the TV show put Shadow and Bone and then like a prequel kind of thing to Six of Crows over the top, which I just think is such genius and clever adaptation of books. And from what I've heard from people who are fans of the books, they loved that as well. So it sat well with the fans of the books, but it also like works really well for me. I didn't even realize that that's what they'd done until I saw people talking about it online. I was just enjoying it as a story. I didn't even realize that these characters were from different books, but hey, very cool. But I'm worried that in Six of Crows, the books, there will be acknowledgement of what happens at the end of Shadow and Bone, and I don't want that spoiled for me. I want to learn that from the TV show. You might be thinking, just read the Shadow and Bone books then, Hannah. They're not like calling to me in the same way that the Six of Crows ones are. I care less about like magical girl, chosen one narratives. They had a time and a place in my life, but not so much anymore. But I'm excited for more of the TV show. Next up, in film world. Now, I watched so many films when I was just tired and sick in the first trimester. I got through so much stuff, but it was mostly crap. Are any of them favourites? No, probably not. But I did rewatch the Twilight Saga. Now, those films are not great, but there's something very fun and nostalgic about rewatching them all. But then what I was doing was I was rewatching them and then also watching Cinema Therapy's videos about them. But last time I checked, they still haven't posted their videos about Breaking Dawn. So I'm ready. Come on, Cinema Therapy. I need my analysis about the relationship in Breaking Dawn, part 1 and part 2. So yes, please, I need to complete my Twilight Saga Cinema Therapy watch along. Cinema Therapy is a great YouTube channel, by the way. It's a marriage and family therapist, a relationship expert, and then also a filmmaker watching movies and talking about all the different kind of like relationshipy stuff or mental health stuff like going on screen. Would recommend. Okay, next up we have music favorite, and as you can probably tell from my top, from my nails, from my lipstick, the only thing we're going to talk about here is Red, Taylor's version. Oh my god, we have been blessed. We have been so blessed. Red was the first Taylor Swift album that I got into unironically. So some of the singles from the previous albums I knew about, would like constantly watch the music videos for, but I never like got into the albums, and I was always one of those people of just like, Taylor Swift. And then Red came out and that all changed and I was like, I love Taylor Swift. And we've never looked back, really. So Red, Taylor's version coming out was a big moment for me because it basically reminds me of my second year of uni and the girls that I lived with at that time, just having the best time listening to Red. Could talk about this album for days, and in fact in my Patreon Discord server we have a channel for talking about music, but the Taylor Swift conversations just completely took over. So now we actually have a specific Taylor Swift channel in the Discord server to separate all of the Taylor Swift stuff from other music. I feel like it was a long time coming, but Red Taylor's version is what tipped us over the edge of like, this is necessary. We need a separate space for talking about Taylor Swift. But these are my favourite songs from the vault, like new ones to me. And actually, when I was first listening to Red, for some reason, I never encountered the deluxe version. So the bonus tracks that actually were like originally released with Red 10 years ago or whatever were also new to me. So that was fun. I had more new songs to listen to. Here we go. My fave ones. I love Nothing New with Phoebe Bridgers. That song is stunning. Message in a Bottle, a bop. And then of course, All Too Well, the 10-minute version, which actually, upon first listening, I was like, this is a lot. And I remember like thinking that the song was like about to be done and looking down at my phone, and it was 6 minutes in and I was like, there's more? Like, how is this happening? I think because I was so used to the shorter version that when different lyrics or a different like melody kicked in, my brain was just like, no, what's happening? Like, it's supposed to go in this direction. But now I've listened to the 10-minute version enough that when I listen to the shorter version, I'm like, where's the new verse? Like, what's going on? It's missing. And, ooh, the short film, also bloody brilliant. Although it's definitely like a extended music video, but we'll give it to a short film. I can't listen to Ronan. I think I listened to it twice, cried, and now every time it comes up, I'm just like, skip. I cannot do that to myself. And then the bonus tracks that aren't from the Vault ones, but I had never heard before, the ones that I absolutely love are The Moment I Knew and Girl at Home. Love those. Big fan of Taylor Swift and Red Taylor's version. Oh, and I also ordered the All Too Well scarf from the Taylor Swift merch store, so excited for that to arrive. Ooh, that's a good segue. So speaking of scarves, we're on to fashion now. And actually, these fashion faves are not for me. So Dan and I haven't even started thinking about buying baby stuff yet. But we saw Dan's granny recently, and turns out she's knitted some cardigans, and I cannot. They're all so cute. They're all different sizes. This is the smallest one. My God, it's so tiny. Oh no, I'm gonna cry. Right, anyway. They're so tiny and cute. So yes, love those. They're very soft as well, and it honestly like hasn't been feeling real that there's going to be a baby next year in our home, in our space. But like just seeing the clothes, it's just like there is going to be a person wearing that. And then also one of the people who I know who works at Patreon sent me these baby grows. Oh my God. Future creator. They're honestly hilarious and also so tiny and cute. What? And then the next big thing. Honestly ridiculous, but I love them. Okay, I need to move on. Onto a food favourite. I've been baking, and Daniel J. Layton got me onto Nigella Lawson's Victoria sponge recipe, and I will never look back. I have never made a more delicious Victoria sponge than that cake. And then when it came to Red Taylor's version coming out, entirely distracted that day, couldn't focus on work, and instead made like a half quantity of the Victoria sponge batter and made some red themed cupcakes. And they were equally delicious, even though I poured like half a bottle of red food colouring into the icing. But yes, if anyone wants just like the ultimate Victoria sponge recipe, Nigella Lawson, I will link it in the description. It's so good. Right, and now I have some like miscellaneous stuff for you. So recently, Dan and I went to IKEA for dinner because I love me some meatballs and I'm a pregnant lady who can get what she wants when it comes to food. But whilst we were there, I picked up some candles because it's that time of year and I'm now a candle girl. But also, I would love your recommendations for candles because I find that if I light the candles when I'm in the room, then I get like used to the atmosphere, I get used to the smell, and then I just can't smell it. But when I've been in a room with candles burning and then somebody from the outside comes in, they're like, "Ooh, it smells great in here." And I'm like, "Does it? I can't smell it." Not because I don't have a sense of smell. I don't have COVID. I don't know, it just doesn't have the same effect on me. So if anyone has any recommendations, but these ones have been pretty good actually from IKEA. This one is a vanilla one, and then this one is like a berry one. Ooh, yeah, that's nice. And yes, I've been lighting these in the evenings and just creating me some mood lighting and some nice smelling, if I can smell it. Atmosphere. I have to get like real close to the candle in order to like smell it, or once I blow it out, then suddenly it's like, oh, there's the smell. How do people navigate this? Is it the kind of candle? Do I need to get like fancier candles? Please let me know if you're a candle connoisseur. Next up is this deodorant that I've been using, which is the Natural Deodorant, Coriander and Lime. And I picked this up in the same shop that I got those marshmallows in, from the refill shop, because they also have lots of like sustainable, like zero wastey kind of other products as well, and deodorant was one of them. And so I picked up this like sample size, travel size one to kind of give it a test, because I've used some like natural deodorants before and I just stank of BO by the end of the day, and I was like, well, this isn't working for me. So I got a mini one to test out, and it's been real good. I've almost finished it, so I need to head back and get myself a bigger pot of it, but it is wonderful. Just like stick your finger in there, put it on your pits. I do find that using this, I am like a tad more sweaty than I am if I use my chemical plastic packaged roll-on deodorant that I've been using for like, I don't even know, like the last 10 years, that stuff. So it's not perfect, but maybe like my body still needs more time to adjust to it. But I much prefer this to another one that I'd used. So we're on for a winner so far, and I'm definitely going to get myself a bigger pot and go from there, and probably get myself a bigger pot and another smaller one, because this is great for travel as well. And then I also have this TENGA mask. Now, TENGA are a Japanese sex toy company, but this came in like a gifted goodie bag or something that I got from them ages ago. And it's one of those masks that it's like a blindfold, as you can see, that you can either put in the freezer and have it like really, really cold, or you can pop it in the microwave and have it like heated. And so you can play around with like different temperatures in a sexy way. Have we ever done that? No, it's just never happened. However, when I did get it, I just popped it in the freezer and was like, maybe we'll use it at some point. But with feeling like crap, and especially like in the evenings, every so often I still just suddenly get like really tired and headachy, this has been amazing. I've been using this so much just to kind of like have on my forehead, like just cooling, and it just feels amazing. But obviously I don't want to actually be blindfolded, and I want it on my forehead, not my eyes, so I wear it upside down like this. There we go. So I can still watch my telly, can still watch my crappy films, but just have like a really lovely cooling feeling on my forehead. I love it so much. So, you know, multiple use sexy time blindfolds, you know? It's like meant for sexy times, and I'm using it for like just not a sexy thing at all, just me lying on the sofa just like, oh, I feel crap. It's been a real winner. On that note, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments some things that you've been enjoying this autumn, this fall, this season. What are your favourite songs on Red Taylor's version? What are your favourite vault tracks? Would love to hear from you. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.